Hello, Namaste, Adab, Sat Sri Akal, Pranam, everyone. I am back again, and we were discussing current affairs issues from the month of May 2022. And in this video, we are going to discuss another topic, as you can see on the screen, that is sedition. It was in news because recently Supreme Court has ordered that the 152-year-old sedition law under Section 124A of the IPC should be effectively kept in abeyance till the Union government reconsiders the provision. The Supreme Court has ordered of the temporary suspension of Section 124A of the IPC, that is sedition law. About sedition, Indian Penal Code defines sedition section 124A as an offence committed when any person by words or otherwise brings or attempts to bring into hatred or contempt or excites or attempts to excite disaffection towards the government established by law in India by words either spoken or written, signs, visible representation, or otherwise. That is, a sedition causing disaffection and disloyalty against the lawfully established government in India is punishable with 3 years to life imprisonment. Three explanations added to the provision which prescribe that while disaffection shall include disloyalty and all feelings of enmity, comments without exciting or attempting to excite hatred, contempt, or disaffection will not constitute an offense. Sedition is cognizable, non-bailable, and non-compoundable offense under the law. Cognizable, that is, police can make arrest without a warrant. It is non-bailable, that is, no bail can be granted to the charged or the convicted person, and it is non-compoundable offense, which means there can't be any compromise, and to be quashed, this should be go through a whole trial, and then it can be quashed. A person who is charged under this law is barred from a government job, and they have to live without their passport and must produce themselves in the court at all times as and when required. In 2018, Law Commission of India published a consultation paper which recommends that it is time to rethink or repeal the Section 124A of the IPC, which deals with sedition. That is, demand for repealing Section 124A IPC on the grounds that it indemnities has chilling effects on Article 19, Clause 1, Subclause A, and harasses dilute executive accountability and uses vague words which is prone to misuse by the executive, and those in favor cite terrorism, insurgency, and Maoist movement for retaining the section in the law book. Let's first go through the timeline of the sedition. British historian politician Thomas Macaulay drafted sedition law as an offence which is punishable with life imprisonment. In 1860, sedition was omitted when IPC enacted. In 1870, Section 124A was inserted in IPC by an amendment introduced by Sir James Stephen when it felt the need for the specific section to deal with the offence. In 1891, the first case was registered when Jogendra Chandra Bose, who was the editor of newspaper Bangubasi, was booked for publishing an article criticizing age of consent bill. In 1921, Bal Gangadhar Tilak was the first one to be arrested under Section 124A, that is sedition, and Annie Besant, Ali brothers, Maulana Azad, M.K. Gandhi, and very many others suffered imprisonment. In 1948, Indian leaders agreed to drop sedition from Indian constitution, and the very next year, that is in 1949, sedition is no longer part of Indian constitution. However, section 124A remains in IPC. In 1951, Nehru government brings in first amendment under Article 19, Clause 1, Subclause A, and puts in reasonable restriction on right to free speech. Article 19, Clause 1, Subclause A is right to freedom of speech and expression. In 1962, Supreme Court in Kedarnath Kedarnath verdict in 1962 held that if language amounts to debate, dissent, and advocacy of viewpoint opposite of government, it is not sedition. But if it incites violence, it may be sedition if it adversely affects sovereignty, integrity, security of state, maintenance of public order, friendly relation with foreign state. It upholds the validity of sedition law. And in 1974, Indira Gandhi government made Section 124A cognizable offense, which authorizes police to make arrest without a warrant. Supreme Court stands on sedition law. Kedarnath versus State of Bihar, 1962. Supreme Court held that a citizen has a right to say or write whatever he likes about the government or its measures by way of criticism or comment, as long as he does not incite people to violence. That is, there should be actual intent to cause violence, and mere advocacy does not amount to crime. P. Alavi versus State of Kerala, 1982. In this case, Supreme Court held that sloganeering, criticizing of parliament or judicial setup did not amount to sedition. Let's see the significance of sedition law. Section 124A of the IPC has its utility in combating anti-national secessionist and terrorist elements. That is, to maintain the unity of India, sedition law is necessary. For this stable polity, it protects the elected government from attempts to overthrow the government with violence and illegal means. The continued existence of government established by law is an essential condition of the stability of state. And many districts in states face a Maoist insurgency and rebel groups openly advocating the overthrow of the state government by revolution. As the power of contempt, which is in line with the power of contempt accorded to the court to protect its dignity. And similarly, contempt of government should also attract punishment. To maintain public order and to deter practices like civil war, excite dissatisfaction, to create public disturbance, and to protect sovereignty of the country. There are issues associated with sedition law, that is, it violates fundamental rights. That is, the existence of Section 124A of the IPC has acted as a constraint on the exercise of freedom of speech and expression, which is guaranteed under Article 19, Clause 1, and governments have used sedition to suppress and silence or quell political dissent. It is ambiguous, that is, the term bring into hatred or contempt or attempt to excite disaffection. It can be interpreted in many ways, thus empowering the police and government to harass innocent citizens. It has low conviction rate. As per National Crime Records Bureau NCRB data, between 2016 to 2019, number of sedition cases rose by 160% to 93. But in 2019, the conviction rate in such cases was a mere 3.3%, which means just two of the accused were convicted. In 2016, between 2016 to 2019, 93 people were convicted, were charged under sedition, but just two of the 93 were convicted. There have been many instances of misuse of Section 124A where the government has used sedition law to suppress protesting voices to protect its interests. For instance, the arrest of the journalist Vinod Dua, who criticized the government's response to COVID-19. It violates international agreements, International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights (ICCPR). It establishes internationally accepted norms for the protection of freedom of expression. And this ICCPR was ratified by India. And the misuse of Section 124A, which goes against this ICCPR agreement. Sedition law in other countries, many democratic countries including United Kingdom, Ireland, Australia, Canada, Ghana, Nigeria, Uganda, these have hailed sedition law as undemocratic, undesirable and unnecessary. UK, in UK, the sedition law became obsolete in 1960s and was finally repealed in 2009. However, sedition by alien as an resident but not a national of the country, is still an offense. In USA, some sedition laws have been repealed or made a dead letter. A dead letter, which means the law is there but which is not executed, and the court provide a wide protection to free speech. In Australia, it has repealed its sedition law in 2010. Let's move towards the way forward to this. There should be a clear definition. The terms disaffection, bring into hatred, and what constitutes as sedition should be clearly defined to prevent misuse by authorities. Uh, Adding procedural safeguards in Section 124A of the IPC or through policy guidelines. For instance, the offense should be made non-cognizable so that there is at least a judicial check. It should be used sparingly as per Law Commission of India. Section 124A should be invoked only in cases where the intent behind any act is to disrupt public order or to overthrow the government with violence and illegal means. There should be scrutinizing complaints, as the dissent and criticism are essential ingredients of a robust and vibrant democracy. Therefore, every restriction on free speech and expression must be carefully scrutinized to avoid unwarranted restrictions. We are done, guys. That's all for now, and we'll meet in another video with some news in shorts. Thank you, guys. Have a great day. Stay safe, stay healthy. Bye bye.